The alpha rejected her in public. Then his son called another man, Dad. Chapter 1. 5 years earlier. Ella Hart knew she shouldn't have come. The invitation sat in her trembling hands. Alpha Rowan Blackwood requests your presence at the Moon Bond ceremony. Everyone in the Northern Territory had received one. The entire pack would attend. The future Alpha's mate would be announced. Ella stared at the elegant silver letters. A strange ache settled inside her chest. She already knew who Rowan would choose. It wouldn't be her. Girls like her were never chosen. She was an omega, an orphan, a worker in the pack infirmary. Most days people barely remembered her name. Still, something inside her whispered to go. Just once. Just once she wanted to believe impossible things could happen. So she went. The pack hall glittered beneath hundreds of crystal lights. Music drifted through the air. Beautiful women stood together in expensive dresses. Ella felt out of place immediately. Her simple blue dress suddenly seemed childish. She almost turned around. Then a voice stopped her. Ella. She looked up. Her best friend Mara hurried over. You came. I almost didn't. Mara squeezed her hand. You look beautiful. Ella laughed softly. You're a terrible liar. I'm serious. Before Ella could answer, the room suddenly fell silent. Every head turned. The alpha heir had arrived. Rowan Blackwood entered with the confidence of a king. Tall, powerful, respected. The future leader of the strongest pack in the region. The room practically worshipped him. Ella hated herself for staring. But she couldn't stop. His gray eyes swept across the crowd. For one brief second they landed on her. And held. Her breath caught. Then he looked away. Just like that, the moment ended. The ceremony began. Elders stood near the moon altar. Pack members gathered closer. Excitement buzzed through the hall. Everyone wanted to know who Rowan would choose. An elder raised his hands. The future alpha will now announce his mate. Cheers erupted. Women smiled hopefully. Ella looked down. She didn't want to watch. She didn't want to witness another reminder of where she belonged. Then she heard her name. Ella Hart. The world stopped. Her head snapped upward. The room stared at her. Confusion spread through the crowd. Someone laughed. Another person whispered. What? Why her? That Omega? Ella's knees nearly gave out. Rowan stood beside the altar, watching her. Waiting. Mara gasped. Ella? Slowly, trembling, Ella walked forward. Every step felt unreal. She reached the altar. Her heart hammered violently. Rowan's expression revealed nothing. The elder smiled. Do you accept the bond? Tears filled Ella's eyes. This couldn't be happening. For years she had secretly loved him. Silently. Hopelessly. And now, yes. The word barely escaped her lips. The elder nodded. The crowd erupted into shocked murmurs. Then Rowan spoke. One sentence. Just one, and it destroyed everything. No. Silence crashed over the hall. Ella blinked. She thought she misheard him. Rowan's face remained cold, emotionless. I do not accept her. The elder frowned. What are you saying? Rowan's voice echoed across the room. I wanted everyone to see exactly why she could never be Luna. Laughter exploded somewhere in the crowd. Then more followed. Ella felt every sound like a knife. Her face burned. Her vision blurred. What? Her voice broke. Rowan didn't look away. A Luna must be respected. Another laugh. A Luna must be strong. More whispers. A Luna must elevate the pack. The humiliation spread through the hall like wildfire. Ella could barely breathe. Rowan continued. And Ella Hart is none of those things. The crowd watched. Nobody defended her. Nobody stopped it. Even the elders looked stunned. Tears rolled down Ella's cheeks. The entire room saw them. That only made the laughter worse. Finally, she whispered, Why? For the first time, something flickered inside Rowan's eyes. Regret. Gone a second later. This was necessary. Necessary. The word shattered what remained of her heart. She turned and ran. Past the crowd. Past the doors. Past every person staring at her. The cold night air hit her face. She kept running, kept crying, kept wondering how someone could be so cruel. Behind her, voices called her name. She ignored them. Hours later, she sat alone beside the river. Exhausted, broken, humiliated. The moon reflected across the water. For the first time in years, Ella wished she had never met Rowan Blackwood. Then she heard footsteps. Slow, deliberate. Someone approached from the darkness. A deep male voice spoke. Now I understand why Rowan was willing to become the most hated man in the territory. Ella froze. She had never heard that voice before. And the stranger's next words changed everything. Because if people discover what you really are, Ella, they'll kill you. Chapter 2. The riverbank suddenly felt colder. Ella slowly stood. Her tears hadn't even dried yet. What did you say? The stranger stepped into the moonlight. He was tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in black traveling clothes. A silver wolf crest rested on his chest. Not from the Blackwood pack, not from any nearby pack she recognized. His dark eyes studied her carefully, as if he were looking for something. Or confirming something. Ella took a step back. I don't know you. No. His voice remained calm. You don't. Then leave me alone. She turned away. The humiliation from the ceremony still burned inside her. She wasn't interested in riddles or strange men. But his next sentence stopped her. Did Rowan ever tell you why he rejected you tonight? Ella froze. Slowly she looked back. No. The stranger nodded. I thought so. Anger flared inside her. If you know something, say it. For several seconds he remained silent. Then he sighed. My name is Gideon Vale. The name meant nothing to her. I don't care who you are. You should. His expression hardened. Because I just crossed 3 territories to find you. A chill ran through her body. Why? Gideon looked toward the distant packlands. Lights still glowed from the ceremony hall. Then he lowered his voice. Because someone is hunting your bloodline. Ella stared at him. My what? Your bloodline. This isn't funny. I'm not joking. His serious expression frightened her more than the words. Ella shook her head. No. You're mistaken. I wish I was. Gideon reached into his coat. Ella instantly stepped backward, but he only removed a folded piece of paper. Old. Yellowed. Worn by time. Carefully he handed it to her. She hesitated, then took it. The paper trembled in her fingers. What is this? Open it. Ella unfolded the page. At first she didn't understand what she was seeing. Then her heart skipped. It was a drawing. A woman's portrait. The resemblance was impossible to ignore. The same eyes. The same hair. The same face. The woman looked exactly like her. Or rather, Ella looked exactly like the woman. Who is she? Gideon's voice became quiet. Your mother. Ella's breath caught. My mother died. That's what you were told. The world tilted. Her parents had died when she was young. Everyone knew that. Everyone. What are you talking about? Gideon looked away briefly, as if choosing his words. The woman who raised you wasn't your mother. Ella stared at him. No. She adopted you. No, your real mother disappeared 23 years ago. No, the word echoed across the river. Birds scattered into the night sky. Ella's chest rose and fell rapidly. This couldn't be real. It couldn't. For years she had accepted her past, accepted being an orphan, accepted having no answers. Now this stranger expected her to believe everything was a lie? You're lying. Gideon didn't argue, didn't defend himself. He simply waited. That somehow made it worse. Because liars usually fought harder. Finally, Ella crumpled the paper in her hand. Leave, he frowned. Ella, leave me alone. She turned and started walking. Fast. Almost running. The last thing she needed tonight was another cruel joke. But Gideon followed. Not close. Just enough to keep pace. You deserve the truth. I don't even know you. You will. I don't want to. His jaw tightened. Whether you want it or not, people are already moving. Ella stopped walking. What does that mean? Gideon's expression darkened. It means Rowan's rejection may have saved your life. The words hit her like a slap. Saved her life? That humiliation? That cruelty? Impossible. Before she could respond, a distant howl split the night. Both of them froze. Gideon's face instantly changed. The calm vanished. The color drained from his skin. Damn it. The curse startled her. What? Another howl echoed. Closer this time. Several more answered. Ella felt fear crawl up her spine. Gideon grabbed her wrist. We need to move. She yanked free. Don't touch me! Ella, listen carefully. His voice became deadly serious. Run! A shadow appeared between the trees. Then another. Then another. Large wolves. Too large. Their eyes reflected silver under the moonlight. Ella's stomach dropped. Rogues. But something felt wrong. These weren't normal rogues. Their movements were organized, disciplined, like trained soldiers. One stepped forward. A scar crossed its muzzle. Its eyes locked onto Ella. Not Gideon. Her. The realization terrified her. They weren't hunting him. They were hunting her. Gideon pulled a blade from beneath his coat. Run now. The lead wolf growled. Low. Threatening. Ella stumbled backward. Her heart hammered. None of this made sense. Why would rogues hunt her? She was nobody. Just an omega. Just an orphan. Just... The scarred wolf lunged. Everything happened at once. Gideon moved. Steel flashed. The wolf crashed into him. Ella screamed. The two rolled across the ground. More wolves charged. 3, 4, 5. Too many, far too many. Gideon blocked one attack, then another, but he couldn't stop them all. One wolf broke through, straight toward Ella. She ran. Branches whipped her face. Roots caught her feet. The forest blurred. Behind her came snarls. Heavy paws. The sound of pursuit. Fear flooded every nerve. She couldn't outrun wolves. She knew that. Yet she kept running anyway. Then suddenly, a powerful howl thundered through the forest. Everything stopped. The pursuing wolves froze. Even Ella did. She knew that howl. Everyone in the territory knew it. Alpha Rowan. Silence followed. A terrible silence. Then another growl answered. Not from Rowan. From somewhere deeper in the woods. Older. Stronger. More dangerous. Every wolf immediately lowered itself. Even the rogues. Ella's blood ran cold. Because she had never heard wolves react like that before. Not even to an alpha. Then a massive figure emerged from the darkness. Not fully wolf. Not fully human. Something in between. Something ancient. Something impossible. The creature's glowing eyes locked onto Ella. And to her horror, it looked shocked to see her. Chapter 3. The creature stared at Ella, and Ella stared back. Neither moved. The forest seemed to hold its breath. The massive figure stood taller than any wolf she had ever seen. Silver fur covered its body. Moonlight shimmered across it like liquid metal. Its glowing eyes remained fixed on her. Not with hunger, not with anger, with recognition, as if it knew her. Ella's pulse pounded in her ears. Around them, the rogues remained frozen, heads lowered, tails tucked, terrified. The creature slowly stepped forward. One step, then another. The ground trembled beneath its weight. Ella backed away. Her legs shook. "What are you?" she whispered. The creature stopped. For one strange second, sadness appeared in its eyes. Then a roar exploded through the trees. Alpha Rowan. The sound came from nearby. Fast. Closing in. The silver creature turned its head. Something dangerous flashed across its face. A warning. A threat. Then it looked back at Ella one final time. And spoke. Not aloud. Inside her mind. "Run, little moon," Ella gasped. The voice wasn't human, wasn't wolf. It echoed directly inside her thoughts. Before she could react, the creature vanished. Simply vanished. 1 second it stood there. The next, it was gone. The rogues immediately scattered. Disappearing into the darkness, moments later Rowan burst through the trees. He shifted into human form before reaching her, barefoot, breathing hard. Wild concern filled his eyes. Ella! She stepped backward instantly. Pain shot through his expression. The sight surprised her. Why would he look hurt? He had destroyed her, humiliated her, rejected her. You. The word came out colder than she intended. Rowan stopped several feet away, as if afraid to come closer. For a moment neither spoke. The silence stretched, heavy, awkward. Finally, Rowan broke it. Are you hurt? Ella laughed bitterly. Hurt? His jaw tightened. I mean physically. No. Relief flashed across his face. It irritated her immediately. You don't get to care. His expression darkened. Ella. No. Tears burned her eyes again. She hated that. Hated feeling weak. Especially in front of him. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. I know. You made me look pathetic. I know. You destroyed me. His shoulders stiffened. I know. The quiet acceptance caught her off guard. She expected excuses, arguments, not agreement. Rowan looked away, as if he couldn't bear meeting her eyes. For the first time she noticed how exhausted he looked. Dark circles shadowed his face. His hands were clenched, his posture tense, like a man carrying a burden too heavy to bear. Good. Part of her wanted him to suffer. Then, footsteps approached. Gideon emerged from the forest. Blood stained his sleeve. But he was alive. Relief flooded Ella. She hadn't even realized she was worried. The moment Gideon stepped beside her, Rowan's entire body went rigid. The temperature seemed to drop. Who is he? Rowan asked. The question sounded less like curiosity, more like a challenge. Gideon crossed his arms. Interesting greeting. Rowan ignored him. His gaze remained locked on Ella. Who is he? Ella frowned. Why did it matter? I just met him. Something in Rowan visibly relaxed. The reaction confused her. Gideon noticed too. A faint smile touched his lips. Oh, that's interesting. Rowan's eyes narrowed. The two men stared at each other, neither blinking, neither backing down. Ella felt trapped between two storms. Finally, Gideon spoke. You should tell her. Rowan's expression hardened. No. She deserves the truth. No. The single word echoed through the trees. Dangerous. Final. Gideon shook his head. You're running out of time. Ella looked between them. What truth? Neither answered. Her frustration exploded. Will someone tell me what's happening? Silence. Again. She couldn't believe it. Everyone seemed to know something except her. Her life had become a puzzle, and she didn't even have the pieces. Then Rowan suddenly grabbed her wrist. Come with me. Ella immediately pulled away. No. His eyes flashed. Ella, please. The word shocked her. Please. Alpha Rowan Blackwood didn't beg. Not to anyone. Ever. Yet there it was. Raw and desperate. Please. For a second she almost softened. Almost. Then she remembered the ceremony. The laughter. The humiliation. Her heart hardened again. No. Something painful crossed his face. Before he could answer, Gideon stepped forward. We don't have time for this. Rowan's attention snapped toward him. What do you mean? Gideon hesitated. For the first time, uncertainty appeared in his eyes. That frightened Ella more than anything. Because Gideon seemed like the type who was never uncertain. Finally he spoke. The Silver Guardian appeared. Rowan went completely still. Color drained from his face. Ella noticed immediately. Whatever that creature was, Rowan knew it, and he was terrified. That's impossible, Rowan said. I saw it. So did I. The two men exchanged a long look, a look full of history, secrets, old fears. Ella hated it. Again she was being excluded. Again everyone knew more than she did. Then Gideon delivered the sentence that changed everything. It recognized her. The silence. Absolute silence. Rowan slowly turned toward Ella. His expression became unreadable. Not shock, not confusion, something worse. Confirmation, as if he had just received proof of something he already suspected. Ella's stomach tightened. What does that mean? Neither man answered. Then suddenly Rowan whispered, No. The word sounded broken, almost frightened. Gideon nodded grimly. I think she's the one. Ella frowned. The one what? Rowan looked directly into her eyes. For the first time that night, she saw genuine fear. Not for himself, for her. And when he finally spoke, his voice barely rose above a whisper. They weren't hunting you because you're an Omega. A cold knot formed in her stomach. They were hunting you because you're the last surviving heir of the Moonblood line. Chapter 4. The words hung in the air, heavy, impossible. Ella stared at Rowan, then at Gideon, then back again. Nobody smiled. Nobody looked confused. They both looked terrified, which meant they believed it. Moonblood line? Her voice sounded weak. What is that? Neither man answered immediately. That silence told her more than words ever could. Whatever the Moonblood line was, it was dangerous. Finally Gideon spoke. Your family ruled before the modern packs existed. Ella laughed. A short, nervous laugh. No, it's true. No, it isn't. She shook her head repeatedly. I'm an orphan. You were hidden. I'm an Omega. You were lied to. The certainty in Gideon's voice unsettled her. Rowan looked away. His jaw tightened. Ella noticed. You knew. The accusation slipped out before she could stop it. Rowan closed his eyes briefly. That was answer enough. Rage surged through her. You knew! He didn't deny it. The hurt hit harder than she expected. For 5 years she had wondered why. Why he humiliated her. Why he rejected her. Why he looked at her like she mattered one moment and like she was nothing the next. Now she was discovering he had been hiding secrets all along. How long? She demanded. Rowan finally met her eyes. Since I was 18. Ella felt sick. 5 years. 5 years. He had known for 5 years. You knew who I was. Not exactly. But you knew something. Yes. The simple honesty made it worse. She wanted to hate him. Wanted to scream. Wanted him to lie so she could blame him completely. Instead, he stood there looking miserable. As if every answer hurt him too. Then tell me. His expression darkened. I can't. Ella's anger exploded. You can't? His voice rose for the first time. If I tell you everything, people will die. The force of the words silenced her. Not because he shouted, because he sounded sincere. Desperate. Like a man trapped. For a moment nobody spoke. Then Gideon sighed. She needs something. Rowan nodded slowly. I know. Without another word, he reached into his jacket. A small object appeared in his hand. Silver, round, old. Ella stared. It was a necklace. Simple, beautiful, and strangely familiar. The moment she saw it, a sharp pain shot through her head. She gasped. Images flashed before her eyes. A woman singing softly. Moonlight. Warm arms holding her. A silver pendant hanging above a crib. Then the vision vanished. Ella stumbled. Rowan caught her before she fell. His hands gripped her shoulders. Strong. Steady. Warm. For one brief moment neither moved. Neither breathed. The connection startled both of them. Rowan released her immediately. As if touching her hurt. The distance returned. The coldness returned. But not before Ella noticed the regret in his eyes. Deep. Constant. Almost unbearable. Where did you get this? She whispered. The night your mother disappeared. Ella's heart skipped. My mother? Rowan nodded. It was left with instructions. Instructions from who? His gaze hardened. I don't know. She didn't believe that. Not completely. But before she could press further, a strange sound echoed through the forest. A bell. Far away, yet somehow clear. Gideon's expression changed instantly. That's impossible. Rowan looked alarmed. You hear it too? Yes. The two men exchanged worried glances. Ella heard it again. A distant bell ringing somewhere in the darkness. Slow, steady, wrong. Every ring made her skin crawl. What is it? Neither answered. Again. The bell rang. Then a voice whispered through the trees. Ella? She froze. The voice sounded familiar. Impossible. Pain shot through her chest. Because she knew that voice. She hadn't heard it in years. Mama? The word escaped before she could stop it. The forest fell silent. Then the voice returned. Closer this time. Ella. Tears filled her eyes instantly. No. No. This couldn't be real. Her mother was dead. She had to be. Yet every instinct screamed otherwise. Rowan stepped in front of her. Protective. Instantly. His body became a shield. Don't follow it. The warning came fast. Urgent. But Ella barely heard him. The voice called again. Soft. Loving. The way a mother would call her child home. Her feet moved forward automatically. Ella! Rowan grabbed her arm. She jerked away. That's my mother. No, his voice thundered. It's not. The certainty stunned her. How do you know? His face turned pale. Because he looked afraid. Truly afraid. And Rowan Blackwood was not a man who feared easily. Then the bell rang again. Closer. 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 The forest around them changed. Mist rolled between the trees. Moonlight dimmed. Shadows stretched unnaturally. Gideon drew his blade. Rowan shifted his stance. Ready for battle. Ella's pulse raced. Whatever was coming, both men expected trouble. Then a woman stepped from the mist. Ella's breath vanished. The woman looked exactly like the portrait Gideon had shown her. Exactly. The same face. The same eyes. The same smile. Her mother. Or someone wearing her face. Tears streamed down Ella's cheeks. Mama? The woman smiled gently. My little moon. The nickname shattered what little control Ella had left. Only one person had ever called her that. A memory from childhood. A memory she had forgotten until now. She started forward. But Rowan grabbed her again. Harder this time. Don't. His voice shook. Ella stared at him. Then at the woman. Then back again. Why? Rowan's answer came in a whisper. Because he wasn't looking at the woman. He was looking at the shadows behind her. And whatever he saw made his blood run cold. Because your mother only died 5 years ago. Ella's heart stopped. The woman smiled wider, and dozens of glowing eyes opened behind her in the darkness. Chapter 5. The glowing eyes multiplied. 1 pair. Then 10. Then 20. Dozens of them stared from the darkness behind the woman. Ella's body went rigid. The woman still wore her mother's face. Still smiled gently. Still looked harmless. That somehow made everything worse. Mama? Her voice cracked. The woman tilted her head. For one brief moment, sadness crossed her face. Real sadness. Then it vanished. My little moon. The nickname cut straight through Ella's heart. She took an involuntary step forward. Rowan immediately moved in front of her. No! The word came out sharp. Protective. Final. The woman sighed. You always were stubborn, Rowan. Ella blinked. The woman knew his name. Rowan's entire body tensed. Stay back. The woman laughed softly. I watched you grow up. The statement hit Ella like a shockwave. What? Rowan looked furious. And afraid. A terrible combination. You don't get to speak about her. The woman's smile disappeared. For the first time, something cold entered her eyes. Something inhuman. Something ancient. I didn't come for you. Her gaze shifted toward Ella. The warmth returned instantly. Ella! Every instinct screamed that something was wrong. Yet a small part of Ella desperately wanted to believe. Wanted this to be her mother. Wanted years of loneliness to end. Gideon stepped beside Rowan, sword raised. Don't listen to her, the woman laughed. Funny, her eyes narrowed. Considering your family helped create this disaster? Gideon's expression hardened. The accusation clearly meant something. Again. More secrets. More history. More lies. Ella felt trapped in a story everyone else already understood. Then the woman slowly lifted her hand. The wolves behind her emerged from the shadows. Not rogues. Not ordinary wolves. These creatures looked wrong. Their fur carried silver streaks. Their eyes glowed unnaturally, and not one of them made a sound. The silence was horrifying. "What are they?" Ella whispered. Nobody answered. The woman did. "They are what remains." A chill ran down Ella's spine. "What does that mean?" The woman's smile turned sad. "They were my people." Silence. Ella's pulse hammered. My people. The words echoed inside her mind. Then realization struck. The portrait. The moonblood line. Her mother. No. The woman nodded slowly. Yes. Gideon cursed under his breath. Rowan looked ready to attack. The woman ignored both of them. Her attention never left Ella. "You've been lied to your entire life." Ella swallowed hard. "Who are you?" The answer came immediately. "Your mother." Tears burned her eyes. The woman looked so real. Sounded so real. But Rowan believed she was dead. And Rowan hadn't hesitated for even a second. That terrified her. Then the woman said something unexpected. "I loved your father." The words hit harder than anything else. Nobody had ever spoken about her father. Ever. Not once. Ella barely knew his name. The woman continued. "He loved me too." A distant sadness filled her voice. "That was our mistake." Ella's heart raced. "What happened to him?" The woman's smile faded. "He died protecting you." The world seemed to stop. Ella couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Her father. Dead because of her? The grief hit instantly. Sharp. Unexpected. A lifetime of unanswered questions suddenly hurt all at once. The woman stepped forward. Only one step. Rowan growled. A low warning. Dangerous. Yet she ignored him. "He held you when you were born." Tears slid down Ella's face. "He named you." Another step. "He sang to you." Another. "He died before your first birthday." Ella felt herself breaking. Every child wonders. Every child imagines what their parents looked like, what they sounded like, whether they loved them. Now those answers stood right in front of her. And it hurt. God, it hurt. The woman stretched out her hand. "Come with me." Rowan immediately grabbed Ella's wrist. "No." His voice sounded desperate. Ella looked at him. Really looked. The fear in his eyes wasn't for himself. It was for her. Again. Always for her. The realization unsettled her. Then the woman spoke. "Ask him." Rowan went still. The woman smiled. "Ask him why he publicly rejected you." Ella turned toward Rowan. The question she had carried for 5 years. The wound that never healed. Finally, an answer. "Tell me." Rowan remained silent. "Tell me." His jaw tightened. "Tell me." The pain exploded from her. Raw. Broken. Years of suffering pouring into a single sentence. Rowan closed his eyes. For several seconds he couldn't speak. Then he finally whispered, "Because they ordered me to mate you." Ella froze. "What?" The woman smiled knowingly. Gideon looked away, as if he already knew. Rowan slowly opened his eyes. They wanted access to the moonblood line. Every word sounded painful. They planned to use you. Ella's heart pounded. Who? The council. Shock rippled through her. The council governed every major pack, the most powerful wolves in the territory. They discovered who you were. Rowan's voice grew rough. They ordered me to claim you publicly. Ella stared, unable to process. Rowan continued. If I accepted you, they would own you. The pieces began falling together. Slowly, painfully. They would have controlled your children. His voice broke. They would have controlled your future. The truth hit her like a storm. The rejection, the humiliation, the cruelty. Not because he hated her, because he was trying to protect her. Tears filled her eyes. No. Rowan looked devastated. I needed them to believe you meant nothing to me. Ella's chest hurt. Actually hurt. Because suddenly she remembered something. The look in Rowan's eyes that night. The brief flash of regret. The pain. She had seen it. And ignored it. Then another realization struck. A terrible one. If that's true, her voice trembled. Why didn't you tell me? The question shattered him. Ella saw it happen. The guilt. The regret. The self-hatred. All of it. Rowan looked away, because he had no answer, or perhaps the answer was worse than silence. Then the woman laughed softly, a beautiful sound, and yet somehow terrifying. Now she understands. The forest darkened further. The mist thickened. The wolves behind her shifted restlessly. Something was changing. Gideon noticed first. His face turned pale. Rowan. Rowan immediately looked up. What? Gideon's grip tightened on his sword. She's losing control. The woman stopped smiling. For the first time, genuine pain crossed her face. Her body trembled. Ella frowned. What does that mean? Then she saw it. The woman's eyes. They were changing. Silver light leaked from them. Brighter, brighter, brighter. The wolves behind her began growling. The earth shook beneath their feet. And the woman looked directly at Ella, terrified. Not of them, of herself. Then she whispered the words that changed everything. Run. Ella's blood turned cold. Because it was the first thing her mother had said that sounded completely real. And a second later, the woman screamed. Chapter 6. The scream tore through the forest. Not human. Not wolf. Something far worse. Trees shook. Birds exploded into the night sky. The ground cracked beneath Ella's feet. Her mother dropped to her knees. Both hands pressed against her head, as if fighting something inside herself. Run! She screamed it again. This time louder. More desperate. The glowing wolves behind her immediately became agitated. They paced, growled, snarled, like predators sensing blood. Ella froze. Every instinct told her to move, but she couldn't. That was her mother, or at least a part of her. And she was suffering. Mom! The word escaped before she could stop it. The woman looked up. For one brief second her eyes were clear. Beautiful. Human. Full of love. The way a mother should look at her child. Then darkness flooded them again. No! The woman cried. Don't come closer. Rowan stepped in front of Ella. Protective. Instantly. His body blocked her view. Back away! The command came sharp and fast. Ella hated it. Yet she obeyed. Something about Rowan's tone made it impossible not to. Then the woman began changing. Not shifting. Changing. Silver veins spread across her skin. Light leaked from the cracks. Her screams grew louder. More painful. The wolves behind her howled together. A horrifying sound. Ancient. Broken. Wrong. Gideon cursed. We waited too long. Rowan nodded grimly. I know. Ella looked between them. What is happening? Neither answered immediately. Then Rowan finally said, She's dying. The words struck like a hammer. No. Ella shook her head. No. Rowan's eyes softened. The sight somehow hurt even more. She's been dying for years. Tears streamed down Ella's face. Then help her. Silence. The answer came from that silence. They couldn't. The realization shattered her. Then suddenly her mother stopped screaming. Everything went quiet. Too quiet. Slowly she stood. Her body no longer trembled. Her face became calm. Peaceful. The sudden change terrified Rowan. Ella saw it instantly. His expression darkened. Get ready. Gideon drew a second blade. The woman smiled. A strange smile. Not loving. Not cruel. Empty. Then she spoke. The Hollow King is awake. Cold raced through Ella's veins. The name felt wrong. Like something forbidden. Something ancient. Gideon went pale. Rowan swore under his breath. The woman continued. He knows she's alive now. Ella's pulse hammered. Who? Who was the Hollow King? And why did everyone look terrified? The woman slowly turned toward Ella. The emptiness vanished. Love returned. Pure. Unconditional. The kind only a parent could feel. My little moon. Ella started crying harder. The woman smiled sadly. I missed every birthday. The words broke her. Every lonely year. Every unanswered question. Every moment spent wondering if she had ever been loved. Gone. Destroyed by a single sentence. Her mother had missed her too. The woman took one slow step forward. This time Rowan didn't stop her. Neither did Gideon. They simply watched. The woman reached Ella, raised a trembling hand, and gently touched her cheek. Warm, real. Not a ghost. Not an illusion. Real. Ella leaned into the touch immediately, like a child seeking comfort. The woman smiled through tears. "You're beautiful." Ella sobbed. A lifetime of pain poured out. Her mother wiped away a tear. Then another. "I wanted more time." The words came softly, brokenly. "I wanted to watch you grow." Ella couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Her chest hurt too much. The woman looked at Rowan. Something passed between them. An old understanding. An old promise. Then she said, "You kept your word." Rowan lowered his head. A gesture of respect, of grief. Ella noticed. "What promise?" The woman smiled sadly. "After your father died, I trusted Rowan with your life." Shock rippled through Ella. She turned toward him. Rowan looked away, unable to meet her eyes. He was only 18. The woman laughed softly. He looked terrified. For the first time, a tiny smile touched Rowan's face. Gone almost instantly, yet Ella saw it. And suddenly pieces clicked together. 5 years. Watching her, protecting her, keeping secrets. Not because he didn't care. Because he cared too much. The realization frightened her. Then the woman gasped. Pain returned instantly. The silver light spread across her skin again. Faster this time. Much faster. "No." Gideon's voice sounded grim. "It's starting." The woman staggered. Ella grabbed her, but her mother pushed her away. Hard. "Run." "Not again. Not this time." "I'm not leaving you." The woman smiled sadly. "You must." Ella shook her head. "No!" The woman suddenly grabbed both of her shoulders. Her strength shocking. Her eyes burned silver. "The Hollow King wants your blood." Ella's breath caught. "What is he?" The woman's expression filled with horror. A mother's horror. The kind that comes from knowing the monster under the bed is real. Then she whispered, "He is your grandfather." Silence. Absolute silence. The world stopped turning. Ella stared, unable to process. Grandfather? The Hollow King was family? The woman nodded slowly, as if reading the question in her eyes. "He was once the greatest protector our people ever knew." Tears filled her eyes. "Then he chose immortality." A chill ran through Ella. The woman continued. "He sacrificed everyone." The forest darkened. The wolves whimpered. Even Rowan looked uneasy. And then the woman said the words that changed everything. "He didn't kill your father because he hated him." Ella's heart pounded. He killed your father because your father stole me." The revelation hit like lightning. But before Ella could ask another question, a howl echoed across the mountains. Far away, yet powerful enough to shake the earth. Every wolf froze. Every bird fell silent. Every living thing seemed to react. Fear flooded Rowan's face. Real fear. The kind a warrior feels before impossible odds. Gideon slowly lowered his sword. Defeated. Hopeless. The woman closed her eyes. Tears slipped down her cheeks, because she recognized the howl. And so did they. The Hollow King had found her. Chapter 7. The howl echoed again. Closer. Much closer. The sound rolled across the mountains like thunder. Ella felt it inside her chest, inside her bones, inside her soul. It wasn't just a howl. It was a summons. A command. Every wolf in the forest lowered its head. Even the glowing wolves behind her mother. Even they obeyed. Fear tightened around Ella's heart. The Hollow King wasn't coming. He was already here. The realization struck everyone at the same time. Rowan moved first. He grabbed Ella's hand. "Go." She stared at him. "What?" "Go now." "No." His grip tightened. "Ella." "No." The answer came instantly. She was tired of running. Tired of being protected by lies. Tired of being treated like she couldn't choose. Her mother smiled weakly. So stubborn. The words sounded strangely familiar. Rowan actually laughed. A short, helpless laugh. "She gets that from you." For a brief second. Despite everything, the two shared a memory. A friendship. An old bond. Then it was gone. The ground suddenly shook. Hard. Cracks raced across the forest floor. Trees bent violently. A freezing wind exploded through the woods. And every glowing wolf dropped flat against the ground, terrified. The Hollow King had arrived. Ella looked toward the darkness. At first she saw nothing. Then she noticed the shadows moving. Not around something. Because of something. As if darkness itself was walking toward them. A figure slowly emerged. Tall. Ancient. Dressed in black armor that seemed carved from midnight. Silver hair fell past his shoulders. His eyes glowed with the same silver light as her mother's, only colder, deadlier, empty. The moment Ella saw him, something deep inside her reacted. Blood recognized blood. The realization made her sick. Her grandfather, the Hollow King. He looked at her and smiled. At last. His voice was calm, gentle even. That somehow made him more frightening. Ella couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The Hollow King's gaze softened. You have your mother's eyes. Her mother stepped forward immediately. No. The word came out sharp, protective, desperate. The Hollow King sighed, still defiant. His expression carried genuine disappointment. As if she had failed him somehow. You should have come home. Her mother laughed bitterly. Home? The Hollow King nodded. Everything I did was for our people. The statement stunned Ella. Her mother looked furious. Our people are dead. Pain flickered across his face. Briefly, then disappeared. No. He looked toward the glowing wolves. They live. The creatures whimpered. Not proudly. Not loyally. Like prisoners. Ella finally understood. Those weren't followers. They were victims. The Hollow King noticed her realization. His smile widened. Interesting. Rowan stepped closer to Ella. Subtly. Protectively. The Hollow King's eyes immediately found him. The temperature seemed to drop. So, his voice became softer. You are Rowan Blackwood. Rowan didn't flinch. Yes. The Hollow King studied him. For several long seconds. Then, he nodded. I expected better. Anger flashed across Rowan's face. Likewise. Gideon visibly tensed. Apparently insulting an immortal monster wasn't considered wise. The Hollow King chuckled. I understand now. His gaze shifted between Rowan and Ella. Back and forth. Slowly. Carefully. Then realization dawned in his eyes. Oh. A dangerous smile appeared. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ella's stomach tightened. What did he mean? The Hollow King looked directly at Rowan. You love her. Silence crashed through the forest. Ella's heart stopped. Gideon looked away. Her mother closed her eyes. And Rowan said nothing. Not a word. The silence became an answer. A devastating answer. The Hollow King laughed. A cold, cruel laugh. After all these years, Ella stared at Rowan, shock flooding through her. Love? No. That was impossible. Wasn't it? Then memories returned. Every strange look. Every secret. Every act of protection. Every sacrifice. Every painful choice. Suddenly they made sense. The realization hit Rowan too. Because when he looked at her, there was no hiding it anymore. No walls. No masks. No distance. Only truth. Raw and exposed. The Hollow King smiled. Perfect. Cruel. Satisfied. Because he had found the weakness. Then everything happened at once. The Hollow King lifted one hand. Rowan shouted, Move! Darkness exploded from the ground. Ella barely had time to react. Black chains erupted from the earth. Thousands of them. They shot toward her from every direction. Rowan threw himself forward. So did Gideon. So did her mother. But only one reached her first. Her mother. The chains wrapped around her instead. Silver light exploded across the forest. The force knocked everyone backward. Ella crashed into the ground. Pain shot through her body. When she looked up, her mother was trapped, suspended in the air. the black chains wrapped around her arms, her legs, her throat. Blood dripped onto the earth. No! Ella scrambled forward. Her mother smiled through the pain. The Hollow King looked almost bored. You always choose sacrifice. The chains tightened. A scream tore from her mother's throat. Ella felt something break inside herself. Something deep. Something ancient. Something she didn't understand. Silver light suddenly burst from her hands. Everyone froze. Even the Hollow King. Ella stared at her glowing palms. What? The ground shook violently. The chains around her mother cracked. The Hollow King's smile vanished. For the first time since arriving, he looked shocked. No. The word escaped him. The silver light intensified. Brighter, brighter, brighter. Her mother began crying. Not from pain, from relief. The Hollow King took a step backward. Actually backward. As if afraid. Then he whispered the words nobody expected to hear. She awakened. The forest erupted. Silver fire exploded into the sky. And at the center of it all, Ella heard a voice. The same ancient voice that had spoken to her before. The Silver Guardian. This time it sounded stronger, clearer, awake, and it spoke only 4 words. The Queen has returned. Chapter 8. Silver fire filled the sky. The entire forest glowed. Trees shimmered. The earth trembled. Even the moon seemed brighter. Ella stood at the center of it all, breathing hard, confused, terrified. The silver light continued flowing from her hands. Warm, powerful, alive, and every pair of eyes stared at her. Rowan, Gideon, her mother, the Hollow King. None of them looked away, because everything had changed. The Hollow King's face had gone pale, actually pale. The sight was shocking, a creature that old, that powerful, afraid. The realization unsettled Ella. The Silver Guardian's voice echoed once more. Inside her mind. Not outside. Inside. The Queen has returned. What does that mean? Ella whispered. No answer came. Only silence. The Hollow King recovered first. His expression hardened. No. The word came out cold. Final. I ended that bloodline. The silver light around Ella flared brighter, as if responding to his anger. Her mother suddenly laughed. The sound surprised everyone, including herself. Tears streamed down her face. Yet she was smiling. You failed. The Hollow King's eyes flashed dangerously. Her mother didn't care. For the first time in years, hope shone inside her. Real hope. The kind that survives impossible odds. Then the chains around her shattered. One by one. Crack, crack, crack. Silver light consumed them. The Hollow King stepped back again. Disbelief filled his face. Ella had never seen anything like it. It was as if her power existed solely to oppose his. The realization frightened him. And that frightened everyone else. Then the Silver Guardian appeared. No warning, no sound. One moment the space beside Ella was empty. The next it wasn't. The enormous silver creature stood beside her. Majestic, ancient, beautiful. Its glowing eyes locked onto the Hollow King. The forest immediately fell silent. Every creature, every wolf, every living thing. Silent. The Silver Guardian spoke. This time everyone heard it. Not just Ella. Enough. One word. That was all. Yet the power behind it shook the mountains. The Hollow King's jaw tightened. You abandoned them. The accusation surprised Ella. The Silver Guardian looked unmoved. You betrayed them. The Hollow King laughed bitterly. I saved them. No. The Silver Guardian's voice thundered. You feared death. Silence. The truth landed hard. Even Ella could feel it. The Hollow King's expression darkened. Because the accusation was accurate. He hadn't sought immortality for his people. He had sought it for himself. Everything else came later. The realization seemed to anger him. Then his gaze shifted back to Ella, and something changed. His expression softened. Unexpectedly, painfully. My granddaughter. Ella froze. The words sounded genuine, not manipulative, not cruel. Genuine. The Hollow King took a slow step forward. No one told you the full story. Rowan immediately moved beside her. Protective, again. The Hollow King noticed. His eyes narrowed. But he continued. I loved your mother. Her mother laughed. A broken laugh. You imprisoned me. I protected you. You murdered thousands. I saved millions. The arguments collided. Old wounds reopening. Old battles returning. Ella didn't know what to believe. Everyone claimed they were protecting someone. Everyone claimed they were right. Then the Hollow King looked directly at her and spoke softly. Do you know why your father died? The question hit hard. Ella's chest tightened. Slowly she shook her head. The Hollow King smiled sadly. Because he betrayed you. Shock rippled through the forest. Her mother went rigid. Lie. The Hollow King ignored her. He made a deal. No, her mother screamed it. But the Hollow King continued. He promised your future. Ella felt sick. What? The Hollow King nodded. He traded your bloodline. The words struck like lightning. Impossible. Her father died protecting her. Didn't he? That was what she'd been told. The Hollow King looked almost sympathetic. He regretted it. Her mother shook with fury. Stop. He tried to undo the deal. Stop. The Hollow King finally looked toward her. Pain filled his eyes. Real pain. He was my son too. Silence. The revelation stunned everyone. Ella stared, unable to process. Her father, the Hollow King's son. Which meant her mother had fallen in love with the enemy. The realization hit hard. Very hard. No wonder everything had fallen apart. No wonder blood had been spilled. Then Rowan stepped forward. Unexpectedly. That's enough. The Hollow King looked amused. You fear the truth. No. Rowan's voice remained calm. I fear what you're doing. The Hollow King smiled. And what am I doing? Rowan didn't hesitate. You're trying to make her doubt everyone. Silence. Ella's pulse quickened. Because Rowan was right. The more she learned, the less she trusted anyone. The Hollow King's smile faded slightly. A small reaction, yet meaningful. Then Rowan looked directly at Ella. Not the Hollow King. Not anyone else. Only her. And for the first time in 5 years, he told her the truth. The entire truth. I loved you before the rejection. The words hit harder than any battle. Ella's breath vanished. The forest disappeared. The world disappeared. Only Rowan remained. His eyes never left hers. I loved you before I knew your secret. Her heart pounded painfully. I loved you before I knew who your family was. Tears filled her eyes. Rowan swallowed hard. The confession clearly cost him something. Perhaps everything. I loved you when you worked in the infirmary. A tear slipped down Ella's cheek. I loved you when you thought nobody noticed you. Another tear. I loved you when you smiled at everyone. His voice broke. Just slightly. Enough for her to hear. And I hated myself every day after I hurt you. Silence. Absolute silence. Even the Hollow King wasn't speaking. The confession hung between them. Raw. Painful. Real. 5 years of regret. 5 years of love. 5 years of suffering. Finally spoken aloud. Ella couldn't move. Couldn't think. Because a part of her had dreamed of hearing those words. And another part had spent years trying to forget him. Both parts were now at war. Then Rowan did something unexpected. He lowered his head. Not to the Hollow King. Not to the Guardian. To her. A warrior's surrender. A king's apology. If you never forgive me, his voice shook. I'll understand. The honesty shattered her remaining defenses. Then the Hollow King laughed. A cold, cruel laugh. Because he had noticed something. Something nobody else had. The silver light around Ella was fading. Fast. The Silver Guardian noticed too. Its eyes widened, and for the first time, genuine alarm crossed its face. The Hollow King's smile returned, because he understood what was happening. Before anyone could react, he whispered, She's awakening too early. The Silver Guardian suddenly roared, "Ella!" But it was already too late. Pain exploded through her body. Agony unlike anything she had ever felt. Silver light burst from her chest. Her scream echoed across the mountains. And as darkness consumed her vision, she saw the Hollow King smiling, because whatever was happening, he had been waiting for it all along. Chapter 9. Pain. That was all Ella knew. Pain. It burned through her bones, her blood, her soul. She screamed. Again and again. The silver light pouring from her chest grew brighter, uncontrollable, wild. The forest disappeared. The mountains disappeared. Everything disappeared, until only darkness remained. And in that darkness, someone was waiting. Ella slowly opened her eyes. She stood in a vast silver field. Moonlight stretched endlessly above her. No trees, no sky, no wind, only silence. "Where am I?" A familiar voice answered. "Between worlds." Ella turned. The Silver Guardian stood behind her. Smaller now, less frightening, more human somehow. Its glowing eyes carried endless sadness. "What happened to me?" The Guardian approached. "You awakened." Ella shook her head. "Everyone keeps saying that." The Guardian stopped, because it knew what she truly meant. "What am I?" For several seconds, neither spoke. Then the Guardian finally answered. "The last Moon Queen." The words echoed through the empty world. Ella stared. "No." The Guardian smiled gently. "You've spent your entire life believing you were ordinary." A painful laugh escaped her. "I was an Omega." "No." The Guardian's voice softened. "You were hidden." The same answer. Again. Yet this time, it felt different. More honest. More complete. Ella looked down at her hands. Silver light flowed beneath her skin. Alive. Beautiful. Terrifying. "What does a Moon Queen do?" The Guardian's expression darkened. "She chooses." Ella frowned. "Chooses what?" The answer came immediately. "The future." A chill ran through her. The Guardian continued. "Every generation, one ruler carries the fate of our people." Ella listened, unable to look away. The Hollow King was chosen once. Shock hit her instantly. "What?" The Guardian nodded. "He was meant to protect." "What happened?" Pain crossed the Guardian's face. He became afraid. The answer sounded simple, yet devastating. Fear. Just fear. The thing that destroys so many people. The Guardian sighed. He feared losing those he loved. Ella immediately thought of Rowan, thought of her mother, thought of herself. The Guardian continued. "So he tried to control fate, and failed." "Yes." Silence settled between them. Then Ella asked the question haunting her heart. "Can he be saved?" The Guardian looked surprised. The question clearly wasn't what it expected. "You still care?" Ella swallowed. "He's my grandfather." The words felt strange, uncomfortable, yet true. The Guardian studied her carefully. Then it smiled. A proud smile. "That is why you were chosen." Before Ella could ask what that meant, the world suddenly shook. Hard. Cracks appeared across the silver field. The Guardian looked alarmed. "Time is ending." Ella's pulse quickened. "What happens now?" The Guardian stepped forward. For the first time, genuine urgency entered its voice. "You must decide." "Decide what?" The Guardian's eyes filled with sorrow. "The Hollow King cannot be defeated." Ella froze. "What?" "He cannot be killed." Fear spread through her chest. Then how could she stop him? The Guardian answered before she could ask. "Only released." The word confused her. "Released?" Then realization struck. Not killed. Freed. The Hollow King wasn't simply evil. He was trapped. Trapped inside the thing he had become. The Guardian nodded, as if hearing her thoughts. "Exactly." The silver world cracked again. Larger this time. The Guardian stepped back. "Ella." Its voice became distant, fading. "You must remember one thing." "What?" The Guardian smiled sadly. "The strongest power is not blood." The world shook violently. Not magic. More cracks. Not immortality. Everything began collapsing. Then the guardian spoke its final words. It's love. Darkness swallowed everything, and Ella woke up. The first thing she heard was Rowan's voice. Ella. Relief. Fear. Hope. All tangled together. She slowly opened her eyes. The forest had returned. Night still surrounded them. But something was different. Very different. She was lying in Rowan's arms, and he looked terrified. The sight shocked her. This powerful alpha, this fearless warrior, looked seconds away from breaking apart. Ella? He said her name again, as if needing proof she was alive. She swallowed. I'm okay. The tension left his body instantly. For one brief moment, he closed his eyes. The reaction was so raw, so genuine, that Ella's heart ached. Then she noticed something else. Everyone was staring. Gideon, her mother, even the Hollow King, all watching her, waiting. A Hollow King's expression carried a strange sadness, as if he already knew what she had seen, and feared it. Slowly Ella stood. The silver light surrounding her had changed. It no longer exploded wildly. It obeyed, flowing around her like moonlit water. Calm, controlled. The Hollow King took a slow step forward. My granddaughter. Ella looked at him. Really looked. Past the monster, past the fear, past the legend. And for the first time she saw it. Loneliness. The man was lonely. Terribly lonely. Centuries of loss hidden beneath power. The realization almost hurt. The Hollow King saw the understanding in her eyes. His expression faltered. Just slightly. Then Ella spoke. I know what happened. Silence. The Hollow King didn't move. Neither did anyone else. I know you were chosen. His eyes widened. The Silver Guardian had never told anyone that story. Yet somehow she knew. The Hollow King lowered his head. A tiny movement. Barely noticeable. Yet it spoke volumes. Ella took a step forward. Rowan immediately grabbed her hand. Protective. Always protective. She squeezed his hand gently. A silent promise. Then released it, and continued walking. Straight toward the Hollow King. Gasps echoed behind her. Nobody understood. Nobody except him. The Hollow King's eyes filled with disbelief. Why aren't you afraid? Ella smiled sadly. Because now she finally understood. The answer was simple. Because you're tired. Silence. Absolute silence. The Hollow King's face cracked. Not physically, emotionally. For the first time in centuries, someone had seen the man beneath the monster, and he didn't know what to do with that. Tears appeared in his eyes. Actual tears. The sight stunned everyone. Then the earth suddenly shook. Violently. The Hollow King froze. The Silver Guardian appeared instantly. Alarm filled its face. No. The word thundered across the forest. Everyone looked toward the mountains. A massive crack of silver light split the horizon. The sky itself seemed to tear open. The Guardian's expression turned grim. Because something worse had arrived. Something even older. Even more dangerous. And as the crack widened, a voice echoed from beyond it. A voice filled with hatred. A voice that spoke only one sentence. The Moon Queen lives. The Guardian slowly turned toward Ella. Fear filled its eyes. Real fear. And that terrified her more than anything. Because the Guardian whispered, "We were too late." Chapter 10. We were too late. The Silver Guardian's words echoed across the shattered sky. Ella stared upward. The crack above the mountains continued growing. Silver lightning crawled across its edges. The world itself seemed to be breaking apart. The Hollow King's face lost all color. For the first time since meeting him, he looked afraid. Not worried. Not concerned. Afraid. What is it? Ella asked. Nobody answered immediately. Then her mother whispered, "The first king." A chill swept through the forest. Even the Silver Guardian lowered its head. The gesture shocked everyone. Because legends did not bow. Yet the Guardian had. The crack widened. A massive shadow appeared beyond it. Ancient. Endless. Powerful beyond imagination. The air became difficult to breathe. Trees bent. Mountains trembled. Wolves cried out in terror. The voice came again. The Moon Queen lives! Hatred filled every word. The Hollow King stepped forward. Unexpectedly, protectively, directly in front of Ella. She blinked. Confused. Her grandfather didn't look back. Didn't explain. He simply stood between her and the growing darkness. The Silver Guardian noticed. So, its voice softened. You finally remember. The Hollow King laughed bitterly. Too late. The Guardian didn't disagree. Because it was. The crack exploded wider, and something emerged. Not fully. Only partially. Yet the sight alone made the forest shake. A gigantic silver eye opened beyond the rift. Watching, searching, hunting, Ella felt ice flood her veins. The creature wasn't looking at everyone. It was looking at her. Only her. Then memories hit. Not her memories. Older memories. Ancient memories. A king. A queen. A betrayal. A war. The first king. The original ruler of the Moon bloodline. The first chosen guardian. The first protector. And the first monster. Thousands of years ago, he had refused death. Just like the Hollow King. Only worse. Much worse. He had consumed entire bloodlines. Entire kingdoms. Entire generations. And in the end, the Moon Queens had sealed him away. Again, and again, and again. Each generation sacrificing something to keep the prison closed. Until now. Ella gasped. The truth slammed into her. The Hollow King hadn't caused everything. He had been trying to prepare for this. Preparing badly. Preparing selfishly. Preparing through fear. But preparing nonetheless. The realization stunned her. The Hollow King looked back, as if sensing her understanding. I failed. The words were barely audible. The confession shocked everyone. Her mother stared. Gideon stared. Even Rowan looked surprised. The Hollow King smiled sadly. I spent centuries trying to control fate. His eyes filled with regret. And all I created was suffering. Silence followed. Heavy, painful, real. Then the first king's voice thundered across the mountains. I will take what is mine. And the sky cracked again. The rift doubled in size. The Silver Guardian roared. The Hollow King raised both hands. Silver fire erupted around him. The earth shook violently. And for the first time, Ella saw the true extent of his power. Mountains of silver light rose into the sky. Ancient symbols burned across the ground. The rift slowed, only slightly. But enough. The effort immediately weakened him. Blood ran from his nose. Then his eyes. Then his mouth. The Hollow King staggered. Her mother gasped. No. The Guardian closed its eyes. Because it understood. The Hollow King wasn't fighting for himself anymore. He was buying time. For Ella. The realization hit hard. Very hard. Then Rowan stepped beside her. His hand found hers. Warm, steady, familiar. She looked at him. His gray eyes met hers. No lies. No secrets. Not anymore. We finish this together. The words settled deep inside her heart. Together. Not alone. Never alone. For the first time in her life, Ella believed it. The Guardian appeared beside them, its ancient eyes gentle. Powers alone cannot seal him. Ella nodded. She already knew. The answer had been given before. The strongest power is not blood. Not magic. Not immortality. It's love. The realization suddenly became clear. Painfully clear. The Moon Queens had never won through force. They won through connection, through sacrifice, through unity. Everything the first king rejected. Everything the Hollow King lost. Everything Rowan had finally chosen. Ella stepped forward. The silver light around her expanded. Rowan grabbed her hand. Her mother grabbed the other. Gideon stepped beside them. The Hollow King looked back. Confused, then Ella extended her hand toward him. The old king froze. What are you doing? Tears filled her eyes. The answer came easily. Because it was the truth. Giving you another chance. The Hollow King's face broke. Completely. Centuries of guilt. Centuries of loneliness. Centuries of grief. all crashing down at once. Slowly, trembling, he took her hand. The moment he did, silver light exploded across the world. The guardian roared. The mountains shook. The rift trembled. And for the first time, the first king screamed. Not in rage, in fear. The light intensified. Brighter, brighter, brighter. Ella felt every soul connected to hers. Her mother, Rowan, Gideon, the Hollow King, generations before them, generations yet to come, all united, all choosing the same thing, hope. The first king's voice shattered. No! The rift began closing, slowly, then faster. The giant silver eye widened in panic. The prison was returning. The seal was reforming. And this time it would hold. The first king reached toward them, desperate, too late. The rift slammed shut. Silence exploded across the world. Then everything went dark. When Ella opened her eyes, dawn had arrived. Golden sunlight spilled across the forest. Birds sang. The mountains stood quiet, peaceful. The war was over. For the first time in centuries. Over. Ella sat up slowly. Rowan immediately appeared beside her. Concern filled his face. "Are you okay?" She smiled. A real smile. The first one in a very long time. Yes. Relief flooded his eyes. Neither spoke. Neither needed to. The silence felt comfortable, safe. Then a familiar laugh echoed nearby. Ella turned. Her mother stood beneath a tree, healthy, alive. Tears instantly filled Ella's eyes. "Mom!" Her mother opened her arms. Ella ran to her. No hesitation, no fear, just love. The embrace lasted a long time. Neither wanted to let go. Eventually her mother smiled. "You have a life to live now." Ella nodded. She did. Finally. She truly did. Then she looked around. Searching. The Hollow King was gone. The Guardian too. Only a single silver pendant rested on the grass. Ella picked it up carefully. Warm sunlight reflected across its surface. And somehow she knew. He had finally found peace. The thought made her smile. Months later, the Northern Territory celebrated. Not because of a war, not because of a victory, because of a wedding. The entire pack gathered. Music filled the air. Laughter echoed everywhere. This time, nobody laughed at Ella. Nobody whispered. Nobody doubted her worth. They knew exactly who she was. Not a queen, not a bloodline, not a legend. Simply Ella, the woman who chose hope. Rowan stood waiting beneath the moon altar. The same altar where her heart had once been broken. The same altar where everything had begun. As she walked toward him, his eyes never left hers. Not for a second. When she finally reached him, he smiled. That smile belonged only to her. "Hello, Ella," she laughed softly. "Hello, Rowan." His voice became quieter, more vulnerable. "I love you." The words no longer carried regret, only truth. Ella touched his face gently. The man who had hurt her, protected her, waited for her, loved her. Through everything. And finally she gave him the answer he had waited 5 years to hear. "I love you too." Cheers erupted around them. Laughter followed. Joy, relief, happiness. Everything they had fought for. As Rowan pulled her into his arms, Ella looked toward the mountains. For a brief moment, she thought she saw a silver wolf standing on a distant ridge, watching, protecting. Then it vanished into the sunrise. And for the first time in her life, the future felt bright. The end.